Good evening, everybody. This is Yin Yang. I am reading from George J. Chanos's book, Millennial Samurai, A Mindset for the 21st Century, Book 1. Regardless of what age you are, if you want to make the most of your one and only life, read Millennial Samurai. Moments change lives. It can happen as a result of something you see, something you hear, something you read, or something that you experience. It's essentially an epiphany moment that touches you on a conscious or unconscious level, a discovery that makes you see things differently, inspires you to action, gives you hope, or offers a new or alternative perspective. Many who read Millennial Samurai will experience these epiphany moments, and for some, it will be life changing. Different chapters will speak to different readers. So true. What touches or inspires you may be very different, yet only one chapter away from what touches your daughter or your son. There are lessons here for everyone. I noticed that because the chapter I'm about to read to you is on loneliness and it's next to the chapter on water. And I'm thinking, wow, what a juxtaposition, right? Look up that word if you don't remember it from high school. Over the next 30 years, technology will redefine life as we know it in a way that is beyond our ability to even comprehend. To survive and thrive in the 21st century, you will need to pivot and adapt to a rapidly and radically changing environment. You will need to engage in a process of lifelong learning, unlearning, and relearning. And you will need to learn how to think critically and guard against misinformation, all while surfing a tsunami of technical change. Excuse me, tsunami of technological change. Those who are able to do this will be those who are able to do this will be the millennial samurai who will lead their generation and future generations through the 21st century. Hello, DKKILL. Millennial Samurai will teach you how to surf that tsunami and dance with machines. It will help you to see yourself and the world more clearly, guide you in your search for the truth, help you to distinguish fact from fiction, improve your ability to communicate, enhance your relationships, assist you in identifying your passions, and encourage you to lead a more successful and more meaningful life. Action is magic. Take action now by reading Millennial Samurai and begin to make the most of your one and only life. I love this book. This is a really, really, really neat book. I cannot explain how much I like it because it is phenomenal. The things he knows about in here, this author was once a Nevada attorney general, which means that he was the top attorney in his state of Nevada. And I've met him in person a few times. He's very friendly, approachable guy. Talkable. I wanted to just say talkable. Approachable man. And I believe he is married. Hi, happy Halloween 3989. And what else was I going to say? Can't remember. In the past 50 years, this is a topic on loneliness, chapter 140. We're on page 293. Oh, 293, not 292. I wrote it wrong. In the past 50 years, rates of loneliness, what's subbed? What does subbed mean? Substituted? What does that mean? Rates of loneliness have doubled in the United States. That's in the past 50 years. According to data from the General Social Survey, GSS, the number of Americans who say they have no close friends has roughly tripled in recent decades, and zero is the most common response when people are asked how many confidants they have. These are alarming statistics. You know what a confidant is? A confidant is somebody that you can trust with your secrets and that you usually do trust with your secrets. Confidant, it's a person. Anyway, former United States Surgeon General Vivek Murthy stated, loneliness and weak social connections are associated with a reduction in lifespan similar to that caused by smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and even greater than that associated with obesity. That's sickening. In a survey of the, he didn't write that part, I wrote that part, I spoke that part. That's sickening. In a survey of over 20,000 American adults, almost half of respondents reported feeling alone, left out, or isolated. One in four Americans who participated in the survey shared that they rarely feel understood. Loneliness is a subjective experience and a common human emotion. When fleeting, an individual may not be impacted. However, persistent and pervasive feelings of loneliness can be very harmful to our health. Lonely individuals are less likely to get quality sleep. I can attest to that. They typically experience reductions in reasoning and creativity. I didn't know that part. Reduced productivity and decreased job satisfaction. That's believable. Loneliness can also lead to anxiety, depression, even suicide. That sucks. According to, I'm saying all these things. According to a recent study published in the Harvard Business Review, workers who experienced higher levels of loneliness also reported fewer promotions, less job satisfaction, and a greater likelihood for frequently changing jobs. The, the quality of our relationships appears to be a significant factor in loneliness. Adult men seem to be especially bad at keeping and cultivating friendships. The study also found that lawyers, doctors, and engineers were the occupations reporting the highest levels of loneliness. It's lonely at the top. That's what I think. Surprisingly, Dr. Douglas Nemecek, Nemecek, the chief medical officer for behavioral health at health insurer Cigna, told NPR, our survey found that the younger generation was lonelier than the older generations. So, what's making Americans lonely? The survey found that working too often or not enough contributed to loneliness. Workplaces are a significant source for fostering social relationships and ensuring a work life balance. Dr. Nemechek says there is an inherent link between loneliness and the workplace, with employers in a unique position to be a critical part of the solution. If you're on Instagram, check out Larry Namer. He said something about work-life balance just today in his story. So if you're interested in that, let me see back to the book. George J. Chanos. Katie Atchison, CEO of Youth Action NSW, says there's a whole bunch of older people living with a disability who are trying to stay at home longer and wanting to stay out of care facilities. As a solution, she says, we're suggesting that the government put together a pilot program where young people live with older people or people with a disability in exchange for about 10 hours of support around the house. Programs like this are being started all over the world. Daycare facilities for children are also being paired with elder care facilities. The concept of non-familial intergenerational interactions is based on the simple yet powerful idea that old and young can bring new energy, knowledge, and enthusiasm to each other's lives. This concept has been gaining traction, particularly in the United States, where more and more shared care facilities are being opened. I think it's a great idea. I really do. A new initiative, the UK's Commission on Loneliness, capital L, will invest millions of pounds on ways to connect people with community support that can restore social contact in their lives. The new initiative, described by the UK government as social prescribing, will enable the country's doctors to prescribe therapeutic art or hobby based treatments for ailments ranging from dementia to psychosis, as well as lung conditions and mental health issues. It will allow doctors to prescribe art classes, dance classes, singing lessons, and museum visits as treatments. Under the plan, general practitioners across the country will be equipped to guide patients to an array of hobbies, sports, and arts groups. The initiative will embrace multiple disciplines from various walks of life, including social activities like cooking classes, playing bingo, and gardening, to more culturally focused activities, including library visits, art, dance, singing classes, and concerts. Social prescribing is intended to complement rather than replace more traditional forms of treatment. The initiative is projected to be employed across the UK by 2023. I think this book was written the year before that. You can address the issue of loneliness in your life by cultivating and maintaining meaningful relationships, by volunteering, and by participating in programs like these. So that is a wonderful, wonderful chapter. Believe, he said, this is his signature. He signed this to me. And what is the, I was gonna, oh, 2019 is the copyright year of this book. And we've just finished chapter 140. Oh, that's interesting. He doesn't say so here. Ah, okay. Anyway, we shall see this later. I would say that loneliness is a big deal. As a child, I was very lonely. I remember thinking that. I remember being that way, thinking that, not getting enough sleep, crying. I remember being very depressed, and that was no fun. And I can believe that a person's lifespan could be affected negatively by that. So, if you are lonely, people are coming to social media as well, and I do too. Um, in fact, somebody says there's going to be some kind of social media blackout between August 1st and August 7th, but I actually don't think it's the greatest idea to do that. I think moderation is key, and I also think that one must have some social media as well. That's my personal opinion, because without it, we don't have any contact with the news in the world. And if we don't have contact with the news in the world, we can't affect our government. And we need to be able to affect our government. That's my thinking. That's my thinking. And I want to say it was very nice to talk to you all tonight. I'm going to figure out how to get this, what is this? This is StreamYard. I'm going to try to get this StreamYard online uh, more to my uh, more to my specifications sooner rather than later. All right, talk to you later, old Kinderhook.